Yeah, Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities, here we offer you. We gon' show you a new way. The content it never strays from positive and uplifting. Once a week, the scope gifted with the presence of your eyes. What a distraction, beautiful to soul, especially in action. This year not ration, came in abundance. Films like in Sundance, tech like the pop art. Tachi Queen, you are Curtis, a beast heart. You must carry, cause MCs they all vary and seldom do they motivate. World full of hate, we serve the hope on a plate across different platforms. Let's hear a buffet, hydration like Boucher. Don't focus on a day, we always here for you. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, go make them yours. What we run is Olympic, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, go make them yours. What we run is Olympic, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. Now you award winner with no award tours. This culture meets the art. Podcast with the heart and essence of the growth. The power's in the people. Without you, we ain't equal. What we lack is ego. We're back now, so here we go. Run the show like Arsenio. Episodic, our rituals, minds change through visual representation of our nation and its differences. Some explanation of our uniqueness and innocence. Mass media's intention is to desensitize. We raise the wise and knowledge is power. Without it, we turn coward and proud of a known product. Like we could take it with us. I wish the greats were still alive and here with us, but it is what it is. We're left here to share our gift, and that's precisely what we'll do with it. Shape shift and fluidly, we can pass this test and still in our unity, elevating through stress. Yes, MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, go make them yours. What we run is Olympic, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, go make them yours. What we run is Olympic, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. Yeah. It's up to you. You got the torch now. MediaScope. We here for you, and you. We got it all. Tech, pop, music. We got it all. Tech, pop, music. We got it all. Yeah. Tech, pop, music. We got it all. Yeah. Tech, pop, music. We got it all. Yeah. Tech, pop, music, we got it all. Yeah. Tech, pop, music, we got it all. We got it all. We got it all.
No 3, 2, 1, MC.
I am so sorry, jeez. I had my mic muted. But 3, 2, and
too damn late. Too late.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh boy. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the livest media, tech, and pop culture live stream in the land, in my opinion, and in your opinion, probably too. This is MediaScope, where we talk all about media, tech, and pop culture every week, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook Live. What's up, Facebook? We're also on YouTube. Hey, YouTube, what's going on? We are on today. Where are we? We're on LinkedIn. What's up, LinkedIn? Good to see you. And for those of you that are listening in the Caribbean, Nassau, Bahamas, and the rest of the Caribbean, you're listening to us tomorrow at 8 p.m. That's it. Blessings. Gospel 107.1 FM. in Nassau, Bahamas, and the rest of the Caribbean. We're happy to have you here with us. Not just me, not just you all. Let's talk to some of the wonderful MediaScope audience that is here. And Dr. Tarla Toomer is here, and she's joining us on YouTube and says, "What's up?" And I say, "What's up?" to you as well. Kirk Lockhart is here. Hello, Kirk. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Jay is also here, an original media scoper of the media scope land. Shanice, one of my wonderful CQ sisters, also a member of the lower level lounge, is here. Thank you, Shanice, for being here. Yay. Thank you so much for being here. It's not just me, not just you guys, and everybody else that'll be joining us. We are also joined by the person running the bells and whistles. That would be MC Curtis.
Hey, what's happening? Hey, Jay
What's
is,
happening with you?
Jay, really quick here. Jay is actually super faithful. He's been with the show for quite some time now, hasn't he?
He has. I want to say since almost the beginning, because I'm trying to see, Jay, was it through was it Periscope you started watching us? I want to say that. So Jay is an OG.
Yes, he is. Through
Or OM, original MediaScope Massive. He is original.
through the pandemic, through the snow,
Wow.
the sleet, rain, hail.
Through the fire, through the limit, through it all.
Yes.
He says, "For the chance to be with you, I gladly give it all." Who sings that song?
I don't know.
Somebody sing. That's I don't know, one of these singers from the 80s. So yeah, absolutely.
Peaches and Herb.
It is not Peaches and Herb. I'll let you have that, but it's not. I'll look if somebody knows the song "Through the Fire, Through the Limit."
I know who it is. It's Shaka Khan, I believe.
Is that Shaka Khan?
Well,
It does. I think it is Shaka. No, is it Shaka?
You know me. Let's ask the audience.
Never mind. Thank you. Never mind. Yes, Kirk Lockhart says it is Shaka Khan. It is Shaka Khan. And Shanice Green says Shaka Khan too. It is. It is. You're right. Yeah. So MC Curtis, your second guess was correct.
So Peaches and Herb is off the table.
Peaches and Herb was never on the table.
Oh.
Every time I think about Peaches and Herb, I think about peach cobbler seasoned with rosemary. I don't know why.
When I think about it, I think about the Jerry curl.
Like you used to have?
Yeah, definitely.
You had a Peaches and Herb Jerry curl?
Those were the...
Was that your Jerry curl crush?
No, I mean, it was just like, those times it made me proud. It's like, wow, look at those guys.
Proud of the curl or proud of the music?
Just the whole scene, The music was playing in the background and I was,
swinging the curls.
picking my hair.
He was somebody called him Curtis, huh?
Yes.
Did you call my name? Yes, and the hair flowed after, because I bet that was a long curl that you had.
I did actually had a lot of hair.
I bet flowing down the back. But did you have it as a shag?
Well, yeah, that was the only way to wear it. If you, long hair, almost like a what do they call it? That mullet,
shorter in the front, mullet, like a shag, a mullet.
Yeah.
They need a day dedicated to the person who came up with the mullet.
Yeah.
And look who's joined us. Go ahead. Who?
I was going to say someone with a lot of creativity, the mullet.
The same person who probably invented the Jerry curl. Anyway, Terry Johnson says, "Let your soul glow." And soul glow he did. Soul glow he did. She also says, "Hey, MediaScope fan, what is up, everyone? Some soul glow to Soul Train." Absolutely. They loved a good curl on the Soul Train.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They did. They loved a good curl in the Soul Train and some of these 80s fashions, the the bright colors, the overly padded shoulder pads,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
super skinny ties. Yeah, they did. Wow. All right, guys. So let's get to it. Could I have the, oh, I didn't give you a hug. Sorry. Hugs for everyone. You know, I appreciate you, right? It's because of you that we even exist. So thank you so much.
Can you tell us who you are? Because I didn't get to pull your name up.
Okay, hi. My name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, and journalist. Per MC Curtis's request, that's who I am. And now, let's get to the intro for the media segment. Maestro, please. You know, I get the intro like way after, so that's why sometimes I'm sitting there like, okay, there's a little bit of a delay sometimes. So if I'm sitting there, that's what that is. All right, well, no worries. What was that, MC? You said you're going to go on strike. What was that?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay,
we need to talk to our team. We need to talk to our team. That's handling the including piece of it.
I think so. I think we need to talk to them. I've done everything humanly possible on my part, and
right.
I don't know, but in any case, let's keep going. Could I have photo 1, please? Lots of great things happening in the world. Okay, so I did this as a disclaimer on IG Live, because we do a live show on Instagram right before this. It's the pre-show where we kind of tease what we're going to talk about. So I talked about the fact that you probably have not seen me post anything about the current events that are happening now, the events that have happened within the past 2 weeks, one just being yesterday, and you won't see me post very much. I think I made a comment on somebody else's post. But I know for me, those things can be sore spots. I know that I am also a journalist. It is very difficult to remain neutral when it comes to things like that. It is, and I don't think that you have to be 100% neutral when it comes to showing empathy for things when you're a journalist. But I think that it can color the nature of what the story is. And so what I said on IG is that I urge everyone to, whether you're posting, so news media first, number one, I need you to take responsibility and be a responsible journalist when you're talking about these events. Remember that the people that are connected to it are people. They're not just news stories, and they are to be treated with compassion and respect at all times. I would think that would be the case, but I just want to put that out there because as news media, we need to be responsible. So that's one. Number two, when you're posting, that makes you a citizen journalist. So simply because you're not a trained journalist like I may be or some other people may be, you are a citizen journalist the moment you start to put things up for public consumption on your timeline, no matter what the platform is. Be responsible. Make sure you've researched to ensure that that's true. Make sure you're using a reputable news outlets. Remember, I was told you should at least check with 3. And if there's agreement among those 3, that probably is somewhat true, right? There's probably a modicum of truth to it. But be respectful, you too. Be respectful, be compassionate when it comes to posting about these things. They are people. And simply because we have a microphone doesn't mean that we can use it in any way that we choose. And so you probably won't see me reporting or talking about these things except to tell news media and citizen journalists to be as respectful as possible when it comes to these things. I realize that for you all, MediaScope is a refuge, and it's a time for us to have fun and laugh and learn, and that's what I want to continue to be. And so I want to provide that for you all. So to continuously talk about these things, I might as well have a hard news show, which is not what I want to do, which is why I stick to media, tech, and pop culture. So I said this on Instagram Live, and I wanted to say it here on all these platforms. So that is what my statement is with regard to all of the events happening, and obviously compassion and emotional. There's a very emotional response that is attached to all of this. So we will continue to think about all of these things, but we also have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. When you internalize all of these things, it can be very traumatic. So I also encourage you all to practice. It sounds cliche, but practice self-care when it comes to these things. Don't internalize these things so much that it paralyzes you and prevents you from doing other things. That doesn't mean do nothing, but remember that you have to take care of you as well. And that means emotionally taking care of you. Don't internalize it. If you need to turn off the news for a little bit, do that. And so with that, we move on to, I forgot to ask you, you're doing good, MC?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for sharing. That's cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I didn't want people to think we're not, that we're ignoring what's happening. We're not. It's just that this is not the forum for that, except as how it relates to media and media use. So.
Yeah, because I was thinking about going to the Netherlands to do this show, but I said, well, let me at least turn this TV off. Dang it.
The Netherlands.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes you wonder how you keep from going under. I don't know why I'm quoting songs today, but these songs are very appropriate today.
Absolutely.
So, maybe the next show will be from the Netherlands. Stay tuned. You never know. So Terry says this. Yes, let's raise the positive for a moment and respect current events. Absolutely. There's a level of respect that needs to be put there. Absolutely. Jay says true. Absolutely. And so we're going to keep going with photo one. And this is still kind of related to the events that happened yesterday and the events that have been happening. But as I said, only as it relates to media. So Apple TV Plus has a show called Physical. They were supposed to have a season 2 red carpet yesterday, and out of respect for the events that happened, they did cancel it. So you are going to see this happening. Anything that was supposed to happen yesterday, this is Hollywood's response to all of these things. So you're going to see them canceling events and paying respects to all of this. So, and of course, I'm sure all the fans understand. So it was supposed to be yesterday. They canceled that. And if I could have photo 2, please, because this is also related to that extent, CBS's FBI has actually pulled the season finale following yesterday's events. The show was produced by Dick Wolf, and it was the season 4 finale was supposed to air last night. It did not, out of respect to that. A rerun did air in its place. So in case if you're wondering, they had a rerun in its place, but they did not do the finale. And let me say this, and not to belabor the point or stay on this too long, but what I'm wondering is what's going to happen now when it comes to shows that there are an awful lot of shows. Look, let's just be real. The U.S. is a violent country. We could be quite violent, and it's evident in the media that we produce as well. Is that whether we're talking about what we show on the news to the scripted content that we have. I'm wondering whether or not these things are going to be considerations in light of what has happened, or is it going to go back to business as usual? Because I think that, again, when we're being responsible media people, you also have a responsibility to look at the images you put out there, because we are also very influenced by images. So I'm wondering what is going to transpire because of that. MC Curtis has no idea.
Well, I don't, but it would definitely be interesting to see, though, because, like you, let's move forward with the show. It's easy to get caught up in it, but
it's easy to get caught up. But I just wanted to bring that up because that is going to color the way that shows are made. So I'm wondering if they're going to take these things into consideration. And guess who is here? Beep beep. Who has the keys? But I don't know if you should be so happy, MC,
I
because I
know.
think Serena has an announcement for you later. So we have rolling it on two wheels, or actually one wheel, is the Queen of Food Truckery, the Minister of Libation. And you already have your assistant Queen of Food Truckery, Terry Johnson, is here. She's got comfort food for you today, which we all need. But it's Taco Wednesday, so go ahead and grab your tacos. We're never here on Tuesdays, but we're always here on Wednesdays. So we've got all sorts of wonderful specials and things for you today. We've got burgers and pizza and tacos and pita pockets. We've also got salads for people who are looking for the healthier side of life, and I think we all need to do that. I just got finished watching, and for some reason, this is why we always turn to food, because we have a food truck. For some reason, I was watching on YouTube today, because you all know I love YouTube. I was watching a documentary that was looking at fast food in India. And there are a lot of American companies that now have a presence in India. So, of course, McDonald's is there, and Brazil. It was India and Brazil that they were looking at. So Brazil was in McDonald's, and there was in India, I'm trying to think, was it Taco Bell? I can't remember who it was, but KFC and all these places are there. So they had a place that was, there are a lot of vegetarians that are in India. So there was a place, and they had vegetarian dishes, but it's like it was like a wrap sandwich. It was a paneer. And if you know paneer is Indian cheese, which I love, right? If you've ever had palak paneer, it's one of my favorite dishes, which is spinach with the homemade cheese cubes. They eat a lot of dairy in Indian cuisine. So but this was dairy free. It was supposed to be dairy free, like a cheese like substitute. This thing had 56 grams of fat. 56.
Wow.
Yeah. So that to say, we all probably need to have some salads today. So I'm glad that you put some up. Fantastic. We need that. All right, let's see. Yes, here's the message from Serena. For calling during the IG segment, because we all heard you call, MC. You're banned from the food truck for today. No drinks or food for you. You are banned.
I'm so sorry. It's absolutely deserved. I apologize. Yeah.
So you are banned for a period of, well, I guess this is however many hours there are in the week, because next you could have something next week, but today, not. But you can feel free to put ice cubes in glasses for others. It's just not for you.
What fun is that?
Gary, well, that's going to have to be your fun today, sir, because you're banned from the food truck. So, Gary Lanham is here, one of my favorite. I take it you are still in Maryland. I hope everything is going well for you. And Terry Johnson loves saag paneer. Yes, the paneer just gives it this wonderful. I love Indian food anyway. So, and we've also got all sorts of beverages for you, and it is open and available. So not you, MC, but everybody else, go ahead and get yours. Get it while the getting is good.
Serena, as many times as you've come in this place on two wheels,
and you have the nerve to lecture her?
I mean,
can you just take your punishment and go? You can't.
Well, that's just what I'm saying. She's coming here a couple times, like today, on two wheels, and I think I should have some kind of, some kind of cushion.
The views expressed by this MC Curtis are not necessarily the views of MediaScope or subsidiaries. So, Serena, I will leave that to you, because I know you can handle that. I'm not going to get involved. You told him what the punishment was, and he's sitting here arguing you down. I'm going to leave it alone.
I done told you already.
She said, I done told you? And you still refuse to believe that this is so. So, all right, I'm going to leave it, folks. Let's keep going. All right, so off of this, let's get to photo 3, please, if you could. Let's talk Netflix. Doesn't it seem like every week I have something to say about Netflix?
Absolutely, for the past 3 weeks.
And that's not my fault. That's because Netflix has become so newsworthy. They keep doing stuff. So let's talk a little bit about Netflix and what's up with it. You know that dun-dun, that sound when you log into Netflix.
Yeah.
You don't watch it enough to know. Okay,
Well, actually, I do quite
but
a
this
bit.
is so do I. Although I think I watch YouTube more. All right, so folks, here's the thing. Don't cry for me, Argentina Netflix, because analysts are saying that Netflix could boost its revenue by 21% with this ad supported tier that they're going to implement this year. Remember, I said last week it was supposed to be within the next year or two. They said, oh no, we need that money now. Stat, ASAP, today, not tomorrow. So they're instituting the ad supported tier very soon. I would not be, they said, by the end of the year, I would not be surprised if I saw a move for them to kind of rush this. They're trying to get revenue. So, doing the math, analysts doing the math, they're saying it could generate as much as 2.5 billion in annual advertising revenue in the US alone and boosting the overall domestic revenue by 21%. That's 2.5 billion that they could really use. Now, does this dig them out of the hole? I don't think so, but this is a move toward it.
So, are they going to hire the people back that they're looking to
Yeah, I
lay
don't
off?
know that 2.5 million per year, a billion per year is enough to hire people back. The thing is, they've been in building mode for a long time. They've been in
Mm.
this production mode for a very long time, hiring, spending money on new content.
Right.
They really, really have. And so, yeah. In fact, it's funny. I know a couple of people who have had offers from Netflix, and they're kind of lowball offers. Although I am not surprised because they lowball, some celebrities depending on who they are. So of course, if they want your thing and they're gonna lowball you, but it was really low. Like somebody said they offered her $1,000 for her film.
Holy cow.
$1,000? Most people can't even pay their rent or mortgage with $1,000
Wow.
unless you live under the Anacostia River. But
Yeah.
DC area joke. Anyway, so they would offer a $9.99 a month partially ad supported tier, and they could grow their domestic subscriber base by about 10 million users to 76 million, with 30 million ultimately choosing the cheaper supported ad supported tier and 46 million sticking with an ad-free premium service. Now, let me tell you something. If I would be okay with the ads, I am good with ads. They actually entertain me. I am okay with it if that means if it stays exactly the same, except I get ads. I'll go for $9.99 rather than the $14.99 I pay now. What about you, MC?
Well, I think I paid. I think I paid the premium 19 something. I think. But here's the thing. I have a question.
You saw my eyes, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I have
go
a
ahead.
question. So is Netflix planning on coming on with a lower price point? Because if they're looking at adding subscribers, it, I
No,
mean,
it
help
would
me out
be
with
nine
this.
ninety nine. It would be
So,
9.99, and you
mhm.
would get you would get ads. So what happens is, so this is what I'm thinking. Am I frozen?
Yeah, you are.
I think I'm frozen.
We'll have to talk to our team again.
MC, am I frozen?
Yeah, you're frozen, then you're not frozen, and you're just real choppy now.
Weird.
All right, guys, we'll take a momentary break here.
Yeah, close the doors, walk across the corridor.
Very weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I froze for some reason. And okay, so as long as I'm back. All right.
Yes,
So
back.
I apologize, folks, if you're just joining. My name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist. This is MediaScope, all things media, tech, and pop culture news. You are watching on either Facebook, hey, YouTube, what's up, LinkedIn, how you doing, or you're listening on Gospel 107.1 FM. Also, MC Curtis is running. Thank you for that.
Welcome.
So, yeah, apologize for the brief sabbatical. Weird, I got kicked out. Okay, so you were asking a question before I was so rudely interrupted about and Jasmine Graham is here. And she says this, to your point, that ad revenue better cut my subscription back to $6.99. My dear, I don't think it will. This is what I think is going to happen. They did not raise the lowest tier price. Remember when they did the price hikes? They left the other one untouched. What I think they're going to do is now raise the price on the basic one. That's what I think. I think this was very strategic. I think they purposely didn't do it because I'm like, well, why would they leave that alone if they're trying to raise revenue and did not do it across the board? They probably knew they were going to go to an ad-supported model and said,
Absolutely.
You know what, we cannot justify charging $9.99 for ads and then it's $9.99 for no ads. So they're probably going to raise the price, I'm sure, to like $10.99.
Well,
or
okay, well,
$11.99. Go ahead.
Well, so that was part of my question because you said something about adding to their subscriber base, and so if they're losing subscribers and they either increase the price or decide not to increase the price, but yet insert ads, how are they going to increase their subscriber base? How does that work?
Oh, how would they increase their subscriber base?
Yeah,
probably because, and this is all speculation on their part, probably because now that there is a price that would be cheaper with ad support, that would be more attractive to people.
Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing, yeah, they're attracting people because of the price.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm good with ads. And if it knocked back even further, that would be great. But according to this, it looks like it's going to be $9.99 with ads. But I think that was strategic because what I think is that they're also now going to raise the lowest tier without ads to like maybe $10 or $11.99.
Wow. Yeah.
So get ready. If you have that basic plan, I'm saying get ready for a price hike. All right, let's keep going. Could I have the next photo, which is 4, right?
Correct.
All right, so photo 4, we have another Netflix story. Surprise, surprise. So Netflix, according to analysts, Netflix is going to be able to hold off. And I gave this example when I was on IG. You know how you're driving, and this is Florida all day. You'll be driving, and then you look in the rearview mirror, and you're like, sheesh, do you have to be on my back?
Right.
All on your back. If I can't see your headlights, you're too close. Can you get off my back? I think this is what Netflix is saying to Disney Plus. Disney Plus is like, and Netflix cannot see the headlights in the rearview mirror. So they're like, sheesh, can you back up this? I mean, please. Get thee behind me. That's what they're saying. However, analysts are saying, and new research is suggesting that they're going to be able to hold off Disney Plus off their backs for till about 2026. So they are not done yet. What that's saying is they are not done yet. They are still in command of the streaming space. Despite what we're seeing, despite everything, they really still are number one. Okay, this is what they're saying. So according to Tech Radar, there's new research that has been conducted by UK data firm Omdia. I would say that wrong. Omdia. And they suggest that Netflix is going to remain the world's most popular streaming service until at least 2026. Disney Plus is going to continue to grow at a faster rate. They predict, however, they're not going to eclipse Netflix as soon as previously thought, because people were forecasting that by 2024, in 2 years' time, Disney Plus was going to eclipse Netflix. Yeah, they got an extra 2 years, which Netflix, is time for you to actually come up with a plan of action. I don't see what your plan is. I'm not a Netflix employee, so I'm not saying you have no plan. But what I'm saying right now is Netflix is closely, not Netflix, but Disney Plus is closely encroaching on your space. So what are you going to do? Because what has happened is Disney is like, I'm coming up on you. And Netflix has now said, in the words of Sheree from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, who gonna check me, boo? That's exactly what Netflix said. Who gonna check me, boo? They pulled a Sheree, a she by Sheree.
That's cute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Every time I think of She by Sheree, I just start cracking up. But, I'm going to let that go. Okay, so yeah, that is what's happening. This new research is saying that. Go ahead.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is more than just Disney Plus, though, right? Is that correct? They own, is it NBC and other
right. So
channels?
remember Disney and Disney Fox merged.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so remember that. They've owned ABC for a long time.
Okay.
They have, it's a whole conglomerate of different channels and media properties that they have.
Okay.
So not Fox, sorry, 20th Century Fox. That's what it was, right? Which still encompasses all of that. But yeah. So here's this thing. Their findings don't really predict a really dramatic change in terms of the trajectory for the company, but they do suggest that the subscriber base is going to grow only by around 40 million in the next 4 years. So the individual channels that Disney owns, like ABC and other channels there, they have to come up with some really good programming themselves, though, right? The individual channels. Okay. Because good programming is what keeps advertisers.
Right.
I think we know this.
Yeah.
We've talked about this every day, every week for the past 7 years. Good programming keeps advertisers on board. So you have to have a strategy, and sadly, it's not the strategy you've been using, because they have a couple of cancellations. Kevin and I from the 5-star rated podcast TV channeling, as Kevin always likes to say, we have an episode coming up, and we're going to talk. We have our annual episode of shows that have been canceled. They've got a couple of cancellations, some things that we actually reviewed. So they've got to shape up or ship it on out.
So do you think the cancellations are hurting them in regards to maybe their shows that the audience wants to watch, and yet Netflix decides to give them the axe and say, hey, you know what, we're not necessarily getting enough viewership on this show, and they cancel it, and then they end up losing subscribers? Is that part of it too?
Well, here's the thing. If you don't have a whole heck of a lot else that I want to see, I'm not. If you actually cancel the show that I like, or it comes to an end, right? Cancel could be abrupt, like after one season, we're not renewing you, or they mutually decided that this show is going to come to an end after season 4 and there will be no more. If there's nothing else I see that you have coming up or that you have already going that I want, I'm not going to stay with you. That's
okay.
$14.99, $19.99, $9.99 that I could save.
Right. Makes sense.
For Netflix. And that goes, it's not just Netflix, guys. That goes for any network, any channel. So they're not giving chances. When you look at these media outlets, they're not giving chances. If you're not pulling in the ratings like they think you should, they cancel. But my thing is, sometimes it takes a season or two for people to really get used to a show and for it to get, shows grow on you after a while.
Right.
So, like, okay, the FX show Pose, we reviewed it and I was excited about it, and I found it to be really good with the first episode. But there were some things that I'm like, they could improve this, and that. But then it grew on me, and it was phenomenal. That whole first season, I was hooked. I was even in Facebook groups for Pose, like where we would all watch it together. That's how much I was into Pose.
Wow.
So, sometimes it takes a minute for something to grow on you. But networks are like, that's too bad. If you don't capture attention in this first season, you're very lucky if we give you a season 2. But after that, you're on your own. Let's take a look at what the room is saying. Jasmine Graham says this: every time I hear Sheree's name, all I can think of is joggers. And Jasmine also says, sadly, Netflix leveraged using other people's content to build their platform, mainly Disney. Now that the content is gone, they're struggling. Oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head. And look who is here on LinkedIn. My good friend from Texas, Nikita Y. Harris. If Nikita Harris be for ye, who be against ye? I always tell her that, because I'm telling you, everybody needs a Nikita in their corner. Get a Nikita in she is the biggest cheerleader for you. I'm telling you. So I am so happy to see you. And it's been a while since you've been here. So welcome back. We can't play the theme from Welcome Back, Cotter. We'll be dinged. So imagine the theme from Welcome Back, Cotter in your head. So thank you for being here. And Sarita says Disney Plus has a lineup of shows and movies coming out under Marvel. Netflix better come on. Well, and see, remember, all those Marvel movies were on Netflix before. They had a whole bunch of Marvel shows. And, I was hurt when they canceled Luke Cage. Oh, my goodness. Luke Cage was everything. I loved Luke Cage. That show was good. Did you ever watch Luke Cage?
I did. What was that? What was that show? I mean, it's been a while ago. He played the bad guy, and
on Luke Cage.
No.
Or you're talking about one of the other.
Yeah, one of the other movies, but I didn't actually watch that show, Luke Cage, though.
It was great. Yeah. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, that whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm really into Marvel. So right. I loved that whole thing. Luke Cage was everything. But it had did it even have 2 seasons? And I was like, what? But that's when we knew changes were coming to Netflix. This is when Disney figured, we're going Star Wars, because they have Star Wars too. Remember, Disney has Star Wars. Right. So everything they pulled back. Same thing with NBC with their streamer. What is it called? Not Peacock. They had another streamer. I don't know if it's still around. But that's when they started pulling back all their things. No. It wasn't NBC. Where was The Office? Was it on ABC?
The Office, I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I believe so.
So it was whoever had The Office, they pulled The Office from Netflix. So Jasmine is exactly right. Their strategy was based off of this, but I think they also saw it coming. Go ahead.
The Office was NBC, if I'm not mistaken. The Office.
Okay, it was NBC. So right. Whoever it was that had their stream, whoever The Office is, they pulled it back. So I think it was NBC. So the whole thing, Parks and Rec, all of those, they pulled them off. So the whole thing is that their strategy was built off of other people's content, as Jasmine said. But remember when they put $15 billion into original content? I think that's why. I think they foresaw, they put ear to the ground, because when you're number one, the only other place to go is down. So they're trying to maintain that spot. So since they were trying to maintain that spot, they were listening for all these things, and they're like, you know what? I think that all of these other people are going to come for their streamers, for their products once the licensing deals are over.
Wow.
And that's exactly what happened. Once they were over, one by one, you started to see them leave Netflix. I think that's why they did a smart thing in creating original content, and it has paid off for them. Look at Queen's Gambit. Look at a whole bunch of other stuff, right? They have so many other things. What's the one, the kids, they're supposed to be in the 80s, and it's a supernatural thing? You know what I'm talking about. Serena says, yep, and they have Luke Cage on Disney Plus now. Nice to rewind and watch the show. I loved Luke Cage, absolutely. Thank you, Terry. Yes, The Office was NBC. And Jasmine said that as well. And Nikita says, thank you. Glad to jump in on this. We're glad to have you here, sis. Thank you. Yeah, those Marvel shows were everything. Everything. Thank you, Stranger Things. So Stranger Things is a hit, but this is the last season of Stranger Things. So there are a lot of last seasons for Netflix. They got to come on.
Wow.
I'll cheers to that with my sparkling water. Let's move on, as we don't have very much time left. How about we move on to photo 5, please? If you are a football fan, which I am not.
I was just about to say your favorite sport.
Yay, football. Yeehaw, football. I don't like football, despite the fact that I used to do the stats for the football team when I was in high school. I understand it. I don't like it. But if you are a football fan, you might like this. The NFL is going to launch a $5 a month streaming service in July. Speaking of streamers, so they're planning to launch their own streaming service called NFL Plus. It's going to feature live games on mobile and tablets, and it's supposed to cost $5, as I said. There will be the same games that you would see on TV in your local market. So the service will replace the games that were available via Yahoo and other mobile carriers. And
very interesting.
It is very interesting if you care. So they would possibly also have other content like radio, podcasts, and team-created content. And they're also looking at having their own direct-to-consumer stream. They're also looking at the fact that having their own direct-to-consumer streaming service would give them more data on their fans. Did you hear what I said? More data on their fans. All of this is a ploy to get your data, people. So, and that's with anything. I'm not saying it's just them. You think Netflix and all these other places are not ecstatic that they have our data? They are. Because then they know what to market to you. Go ahead.
So at the same time, Netflix other OTT channels or OTT channels, they don't have to worry about any kind of agreements with paying out this enormous amount of money for agreements with the NFL. Now the NFL is doing their own thing. Is that correct?
Yes. So I don't know if it would be a complete, because obviously there's the over-the-air games, but correct. I don't know what a lot of these deals are expiring, that the people that have because I think it's Amazon that has access to NFL games right now. Mm-hmm. So I don't know when that deal is expiring. And I don't know when that deal expires if the NFL is going to be like, sorry, we have our own now. But okay. I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the case. So here's the thing, but maybe not. Because this service is separate from Sunday Ticket, which has been with DirecTV for years. But it's now most likely going to head to either Amazon or Apple. So that what they have now with Amazon, it could be replaced with this Sunday ticket thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, if you are a football fan, this is for you. So clearly, this was not intended for someone like me, but that's okay because now we're going to move on to photo 6, please. Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go. Remember that?
I do. Channel 44.
Well, Channel 44. Wow, you even remember the channel it was on.
I do. Yes, I love that show, the cartoon.
You with your uncombed hair in front of the television and your cereal
Absolutely.
bowl. I know you didn't like to comb your hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Woo! Flat on one side because you just woke up. I know.
Mhm.
I know. Well, there is a live action Speed Racer series by J.J. Abrams coming to Apple TV Plus, or Apple TV Plus just ordered it. So, it's going to be based off of Speed Racer, obviously, which began as a comic book or manga, for those of you familiar with Japanese animation. The manga series ran from 1966 to 68, and then there was an anime that ran from 67 to 68. So since then, there have been a lot of spin-offs, remakes, and continuations. There was also a new animated series in the 90s, and I didn't realize that. And also a film, a live action Wachowski's film in 2008. I didn't realize that. It shows you how popular it was. So what's interesting about this project? The fact that Abrams has really been tied to this franchise for a long time. I didn't know, because in 1994, when Abrams was only 28 years old, he wrote a draft for the live action feature based off of the material. Interesting. So we don't know whether or not he's going to go back to the 1994 draft that he worked on, but it remains to be seen. So let's talk about Speed Racer. If you don't know, the original anime series followed a racer who gets involved on going up against various villains, facing off against a mysterious Racer X, and getting into some oversized comic mischief with the rest of his family, as you remember. So, you know me and reboots and remakes and reimaginings. Not a fan unless I have faith that it's going to go well. Now, I mentioned this on IG Live that Bel Air, which is based off of it's a reimagining of it's a drama reimagining of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Fresh Prince of Bel Air was a comedy. Bel Air is fantastic. It is so well done, so well written. It makes sense, and it's on Peacock. So you can watch the first episode for free, but after that, you have to have the premium tier to watch the rest of them. So if you haven't, MC, go watch the first episode. It's really good.
Well, actually, I've been watching it. I watched the entire season.
Well, I'll shut up then. Ah!
It has been pretty good.
This just in, MC Curtis watched the entire season of something.
I have.
Wow.
And looking forward to the second season.
I'm glad I have had a pop culture influence on you, MC.
You have.
Well, very good. Because it's really weird to be on a pop culture show when you don't know anything about pop culture. But it makes it that much more hilarious when you don't. But I'm glad that you're taking it in. So in that case, I'm all for it. But we've seen so many shows that have just been like, why did you spend the money to remake this? You could have used that on something else. You could have, instead of spending the money to license that, you could have actually created something new, kind of with the same premise.
Yeah, I think it's hard for them to capture that nostalgia that was there at that time. It's really hard to capture that, and especially if you're working with generations or individuals who don't know anything about it, just kind of
right. Because when you reboot something, it could go horribly wrong because you are dependent upon the individuals that were fans back then to watch now. These fans may have moved on. they may not be interested. You don't know, or they may be interested and you bungle it so badly that, I mean, and that's the thing, because I think memories are precious for a lot of people. And when you bungle something like a show that you really love, The Wonder Years is another example of this, with something that could have gone terribly wrong that is going really well. So there are shows that do well that are reboots and reimaginings, and there are some that don't do that well. Remember, they talked about rebooting Alf. Alf was already an abomination in and of itself.
And you
want to reboot it?
I could not stand that show.
I hated Alf. I watched it because, those were the years, like when we were young, those were the years where you watch what was on TV, otherwise go to bed, because you didn't have a whole lot of choices. It was ABC, NBC, ABC, CBS, and what became Fox. And then of course you had the little spin-off UPNs and CW, UPNs and WB, which that kind of spun off into the CW. So you had those 4 main networks before, and so what was on TV was what was on TV. And if you didn't want to watch that, too bad. Do something else.
Then go to bed.
Then go to bed. Good night. So because you did not want to go to bed, you took interest in that, even if it was MASH. You're like, no, I like MASH. And I couldn't stand MASH when I was little.
But MASH was one of those shows for me that actually grew on me, and maybe because as I got older, when I was younger, I could not stand that show. But as I got older,
you have to be older to appreciate shows like MASH, etc. Because it's just. Because I was like, I don't want to watch a show about war. And when you heard the theme song, you're like, oh, can I change the channel? Okay, but there's nothing else on. So if I want to stay up, MASH it is. Memories. Anyway, let's see what's happening here. So Rita says that Alf was terrible, as they say in DC, Maryland, Virginia. Terrible. Not terrible, terrible. And Susan Engels is here. Hello, my friend. It says Alf was amazingly horrible. Oh, that is such a good way of putting it. Alf was amazingly horrible. I love that. I hope you don't mind if I steal that. What happened?
That's like sweet and sour. Wow, that's sweet and sour. That's
somebody. Are you thinking of ordering sweet and sour chicken? Is that what you're going to do?
Well, no. I was just thinking amazingly horrible. Sounded like
amazing. Yeah, sweet and sour. And look who is here. Oh my gosh, Mark Ward. What have we done to please the social media gods that Mark Ward is joining us today? Mark says Wonder Years reboot is going really well for everyone but Fred Savage. Oh yeah, they kicked Fred Savage out. Yeah. So in case you hadn't heard the story, there was some misconduct that took place and they kicked him out. I'm like, can people just do right? What is going on? You were a shoo-in. You were on the original show. All you had to do was behave and act right. Couldn't even do that. And Susan says, as we have mentioned, that remakes go terribly wrong. I'm not a fan of that. I'm right there with you, Susan. You really have to have a solid script, solid directing, great acting. It has to be 10s across the board for a remake to be good. And even then. And Jasmine has a connection to Speed Racer because she said her cousins used to love the Speed Racer cartoon. So did I. I loved any cartoon. How about that? Any cartoon. I was a particular fan of Voltron, though. Were you a big Voltron fan, MC?
No, not so much. Not so much.
I used to look. I rushed home every day after school, 3 o'clock, so that I could catch Scooby-Doo at 3 o'clock. 3:30 was Voltron. 4 o'clock was He-Man, the Masters of the Universe.
Yes, so, I loved He-Man. Tom and Jerry.
Yes. Oh, Tom. Yeah, I'm a cartoon fanatic. I really am. And there is actually a channel on Pluto called After School Cartoons that shows old cartoons. So and it's free. So if you're interested in that, look, it's called After School Cartoons. And it's so nostalgic because that was the thing, after school cartoons. Because if I had a little bit of time while we were at school, we had some downtime. Who you think I wasn't doing my homework?
Right.
Because my job was to watch TV. So, anyway, I missed this from Mark. Mark says, I'm launching my streaming service, Mark TV, for $13.95 a month. You can watch me. You can watch me watch other streaming services. Tune in to see what I might drink and when I will pause live viewing to go to the bathroom. We will tune in for that. But you know what? That's almost like, what is that movie with the Truman Show, right? It's almost kind of like a Truman Show type thing, with that movie with Mark Ward, with Drew. No, you know who I'm talking about, Jim Carrey. Okay, never mind. Anyway, so and Serena Love Voltron, and look who is here, D. Hey, D Carpio is here. Welcome, D. Welcome to the fold. Thank you so much for being here. Amazingly horrible is our new slogan. Not with regard to the show, but that was amazingly horrible. I'm going to use that all the time now. Susan, thank you. Thank you for that. All credit goes to Susan Engels for this one, but I'm going to use it. All right. Could we, because we...
Emoji.
What happened?
But find an emoji that says, with the eyes.
Amazingly horrible.
That looks like, that gives you that impression. Wow.
That might have to be 2 emojis.
Yeah, that's true. That.
You know what's amazing? Some of these emojis for the food, those look amazingly horrible because you can't tell what they are. That could be one.
Right.
All right, let's move on. We are going to move on to, could I have photo 11, please? Just wanted to let you know that Pepsi is pulling out of the halftime show. They will no longer sponsor the halftime show. And this has been a long-standing relationship that they have had with them, hasn't it? It's been a few years.
Absolutely. Why is that?
They're looking for other opportunities. You know how when you leave a company, you never say, "I can't stand you. You people are deplorable and amazingly horrible." You just say, "I'm resigning to look for other opportunities, seeking out other opportunities."
Relocated.
Exactly, relocating.
That's funny.
No, absolutely. So they're looking for other opportunities, actually. So here's the thing. They had renewed the sponsorship deal, but the Super Bowl halftime rights are going back on the market. So as part of this agreement, Pepsi gets pouring rights at NFL events, meaning they're the brand beverage of choice, including the NFL draft, and the company's sports drink maker Gatorade. I didn't realize Gatorade was part of PepsiCo, but okay. They keep high visibility on the NFL sidelines. And here's the thing. CNBC reported that the NFL could seek up to $50 million for the Super Bowl halftime rights.
Jeez.
Oh.
Wow.
All you would have to do is do it once. You could say, we don't need to do it anymore. You could get into any other venture you wanted. If you produce or sponsor the Supertime halftime show, once they could, wow, you just have to do it once, and you could get anything. That is super visibility. Super visibility. The NFL wouldn't even have to have games anymore. Not that that's a whole lot of money, but they could spin off into other things if they did that.
Yeah.
Or
absolutely.
if they did what if it was $50 million a pop? You all can sponsor it. We have 4 slots. It's $50 million for all 4 of you. So that would be like $200 million. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening on that end. This is according to CNBC. And let me tell you, I told you that they're moving on. They said Tracy Rodberg is the NFL senior president of sponsorship management, said our priorities and their priorities have evolved, and we wanted to make sure that as we continue this partnership, we're all working toward the same goal. So the previous deal of the renewal with, including the halftime show, was reportedly $2 billion over 10 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, we're not talking play money here. We're not talking Monopoly money.
Not at all.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Baltic Avenue. We're not talking that kind of money. Mm-mm. Let's keep going because I want us to actually end. So could I have, we definitely do need to talk about a tech story. Let me have photo 13, please.
Tech story?
Actually, so this is tech. Actually, let's go to photo 17. Can we do that?
We can.
But do the pop culture segment intro. So this is pop culture, but there is an aspect of technology to it, which is why I'm doing this. Coors, yes, the brewery, has entered the plant-based milk market. But doesn't Coors make... Yes, they are Absolutely. A brewery, so they do make beer. However, they are getting into the plant-based milk market. It's going to be called Golden Wing. It's vegan milk. Of course, plant-based milks are huge. Oat milk, almond milk, soy milk, and even now a cow-free dairy that genetically replicates cow DNA, which to me is problematic, but I digress. I wouldn't want anything that was tampered like that, but if you want it, hey, you like it, I love it. But I happen to be a fan of oat and almond myself. So now they are doing barley milk. So you know that beer is made from barley, right? From hops. So They are actually making barley milk. And they said it has a natural malty sweetness and an experience closer to drinking milk at the bottom of your cereal bowl, which I know you'll love, MC Curtis.
It sounds delicious.
It does. So the ingredients are water, non-GMO barley, sunflower extract, calcium carbonate, pink Himalayan salt, and shiitake mushroom extract. Apparently it has 60% less sugar and 50% more calcium than 2% dairy milk, as well as double the amount of vitamin D3.
That sounds delicious. Where do I get it?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, my friend. So it's available for purchase on the Golden Wing website, and it's $30 for 6 cartons. That's $5 a carton.
Yeah. Maybe next check.
Next check. Next check. Put aside some ducats for that Golden Wing. So, but you can actually, if you have a Sprouts in your area, Sprout stores in California and Whole Food stores in Southern California are carrying them right now. So it's a soft launch, but then they want to grow it on a larger basis. So tell me, would you try barley milk? Does this sound like something you would want? I'm curious. Let's see what people say. Oh, Jasmine says, no, sounds gross. Susan Engel says it's an interesting mix of ingredients, worth a try, though expensive. To me, it is a little expensive. Mark Ward says, stay tuned.
Absolutely.
The Preparation H halftime show is coming up next, so they're going to be the sponsors. But
they've missed a halftime.
Yeah, we're not going to go there because MC Curtis can go down a slippery slope. Nikita Harris says no barley milk for me. I don't know. It could be. Have you ever had barley like as a hot cereal?
No, I don't think so. No.
Terry
Well,
Johnson says that's the regular price of organic milk in NYC. I'll try. Okay, well, hey,
the little description that you had given, it sounded really good when you were reading it. It sounded
the
like it's
cereal at the end of the bowl. That's the
yeah,
thing that
that
gets you.
piece. But then you read some other text you read. It
The
sounded like
ingredients.
the ingredients. Yeah, sounds like something you would like drizzle on a burger or salad or something.
Barley milk?
Just the way you said it. If you could repeat it, use that same tone.
Serena, please do not hire MC Curtis to cook for the food truck because
For
it's
the
not going
halftime
to
show.
go well. Or the halftime show, it's not going to go well. Oh, but the MediaScope food truck at the halftime show, that would be something to see. Anyway, Mark Ward is always a good time when Mark Ward is here. Let's have
Absolutely.
one final story, and then I'm going to let you go. Thanks for hanging with me 10 minutes after the fact. This is MediaScope, all things media, tech, and pop culture. My name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, journalist. It's me and MC.
Hey.
Let me have photo 18, please. This is our final story. I sang this last week, I think. This is the end, my only friend, the end. Folks, if you are in New York or in the New York City area, the last public payphone is gone. It's the end of an era. No more payphones in New York City. So on Monday, officials removed the very last public payphone in New York City. And Terry, I know you're hurt by this. No more looking for coins. This wasn't a call a quarter now. Back, I haven't used a payphone in forever, but
What's the last that I know of it was a quarter.
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 So this payphone stood at 745 7th Avenue. And it's the end of an 8-year project to phase out public payphones in favor of modern technology. So what's the modern technology going to be? I wonder. So this is what it's going to be. They're replacing them with Link NYC monoliths developed by CityBridge, which will allow locals to make free phone calls, but also inform them of commute times and weather conditions. So apparently they have a lot of functions, more functions than traditional telephones. So to date, there are about 2,000 of these high-speed Wi-Fi kiosks all over the 5 boroughs, helping New Yorkers get around the city more efficiently. So I guess now you can make phone calls from them.
So will the phone calls be limited? Because
I have no clue.
Now fights would break out for people trying to use the phone.
Who knows? Mark Ward says, I will miss tagged public phone stations with tattered hanging covers where the phone book used to be. They never had a phone book. It would just be the cover dangling.
Absolutely.
But the interesting thing is now for people that are writing series, etc., you're not going to be able to have a phone booth as a character. No more Clark Kent emerging from the phone book after changing, which you probably wouldn't want to do in this day and age anyway. I'm sure they're filthy. You couldn't have,
people sleeping standing up or
people sleeping in them. You're right. So Terry Johnson says, yes, phone calls, and you can charge your phone and free Wi-Fi. And that makes sense. And she also says, because we have Link on every street corner installed a few years ago. So no more need for the old school, antiquated. Who has quarters anymore anyway?
I know, right?
I don't even, back in the day, you needed them to park. I don't even have them, and I would have them like when I was in college because doing laundry or whatever. But now all laundry rooms have transitioned to like cards or whatever. You could, yeah. We're starting to become a cashless society, and I'm okay with that.
Even parking meters. I mean, I guess they still take coins too, but that majority of them take debit cards or credit
I
cards.
use an app because there's a pay by phone app and a pay park app. So Miami uses pay park, Fort Lauderdale uses pay by phone. All I have to do is go by the app and put in the number of where I am, and I'm good. I don't even have to worry about, pulling out and going to the kiosk. I just sit in my car, do it, and then go.
Wow.
Yeah. So I use the app to park all the time now. Look at technology. When it works, it works. Folks, and we're going to stop working now and let you get back to dinner or whatever it was you were going to do. This was so much fun as usual. I'm so honored every week that you guys come to watch this show. And guess what? The 7th anniversary is quickly approaching. It's about to be June. July 29th is the 7th anniversary of MediaScope. So I guess we got to get to planning.
We do, because I'm parched because I hadn't had anything to drink or eat.
That has nothing to do with the 7th anniversary of. Good night, folks. I love you for watching. Bid you adieu. You guys, myself, this parched MC Curtis, and all payphones. Let us all exit stage left. Until next week. Cheers.
Yeah, Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you.